Okay, this is working. This is properly working. Let me check. I don't have audio. Okay, let me see. Is this properly working? Is this really existing? Are we already streaming? Once again, are we so whack? Is this finally what is happening? Let me see. Yeah, we are so fine. What the fuck? Is the audio so clear? Really? What? What an amazing audio. Wow, amazing. Well, that's it. Then amazing. We are finer than ever before. Let's say like that, because we have the possibility of today internet decided to work. Therefore, we can do a little bit more of thinking. Yeah, beautiful, basically. And well, I don't really know what else to add to this whole mix of feelings and ideas and everything else. Yeah. Hello, Saxter. Hello. We are so back after like 3 years without me streaming anything at all. We are here. We are present. We exist. We are not sleeping. We are finally streaming. This is beautiful. This is the beauty that we were searching for. So well, I don't know. All I can really say is I have like two different things that I wanted to think about, and my brain is all around scattered. I haven't. Well, as always, basically. While I was getting prepared, I have been consuming content, watching things, and this and that, and blah blah blah. So I have a lot of things that, particularly today, as always, I want to think. So wait. I think I just noticed an existing possibility, and that is to make this. Let me change this text. Ask whatever. Okay, we have this here. I make it visible, visible, observable, existing, and there it is. There we have it. No, wait, it is. Let me do it like that. There it is. There we have it. There it is. Amazing content, furry content. But well, I don't really know. It has been a long time since we were here. What an amazing adventure this has been. You know, what a what a kind of exasperating experience it was yesterday to see that somehow the whole internet almost died. And thank God I didn't do the collab on this channel, because if I had been the one who did it, we probably couldn't have really gone through with that, because I think it was audible. I didn't check the bot yet. I don't even know if Copa allowed the bot to exist or not, but I was lagging. At the very least, like 10% of the time, I was lagging. And sometimes it wasn't that much, sometimes it was already a lot. So yeah, we basically I was not completely, but a little bit at the very least preoccupied about being there and having the possibility more than anything else of really streaming and all of that. But this is working, and if this is working, we are really great in that sense. No, I cannot say anything bad about that. It seems to be working fine, and it seems that today we are going to have a full day. I I have something also going on in the background that might as well happen today. I won't say anything else just in case, because sometimes the simple act of talking about the things that might happen end up making them a heavier load on those who might as well not be completely willing to do it. So yeah, basically that we're working on something in the background, but if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, and nobody really needs to care about something that didn't happen because external reasons. So yeah, aside from that, what else? Well, yeah, tomorrow oh fuck, I forgot to say anything about it. I need to create a little bit more of what is it? Of rage, no, of hype. Yeah, a little bit more of hype for the whole night celebration that we will have. It was tomorrow, right? It is not Friday today, right? Yeah, okay. Tomorrow, sorry. Uh, tomorrow we will see and we will analyze the possibility more than anything else of going over kind of the same, yeah, as kind of similar to what happened the other day, going over a lot of things that are more than anything else related to, what was it, to serious experiences and all of that. Nothing really dense, so to speak. So yeah, basically that. Basically, aside from those things, also on the other hand, I haven't I haven't really, as I said before, I haven't really trying to get not the ideas working, but rather I have been analyzing a lot of stuff, and more so because I found some questions that I wanted to answer. In my personal case, I have been having not a completely hard time finding things to talk about, but rather finding an approach correctly enough to take care in a manner in which we could advance properly, while at the same time also taking into consideration that the common thing, it might as well be kind of hard for people to comprehend some ideas, even more if what I talk about is not completely, let's say, intelligible for every single one. So yeah, I have been also trying basically that to put ideas into words that can be grasped by every single one who comes at random in contact with them. But well, aside from those two particular things, it also has been a reality that I have been having a great time so far. Um, well, I think yeah, I have nothing else to really talk about aside. Let me in the background do other thing. Um, I have been trying to get my head around and to think a little bit more clearly about the wholeness of the objective that we have here and all of that, because the question itself arises, let's say, of if it is meaningful and if it is at any point in time really useful for people to try and go and more than anything else to try and really work around their problems in a manner in which they end up solving them because they need to be solved. So to speak, in that same manner, we can kind of even say if it is interesting or not to what is it to talk about the idea of being happy, and if not the idea of being happy, if it is worthy to be happy, and if it is worth it to pursue it happiness, because in a sense, I have been thinking, and I found probably that it comes more than anything else from the realization that you go through pain and you go through experiences that rob you out of that happiness, so to speak. So, in that manner, is in which I kind of answer that question. But in reality, it also has a lot of other sides to the same coin, let's say, in which I might as well not be really conscious because it is kind of true that pursuing happiness for the sake of it might not bring anything good. At the end of the day, it is literally the same concept of, you know, you're pursuing pleasure. So, in that manner, is in which I try to find another solution for that same question slash answer. And there was where I found myself kind of trapped because it is a lot deeper and it needs more development. At the end of the day, how do you know that what the things that you're doing are not existing? Because you find a desire underlying from your side. At the end of the day, the individual never has the complete responsibility of doing things that they do not want. And even more, they do not even need to do things that they do not want if they themselves realize they do not have that existing interest. So, how do you really have the responsibility of saying, you know what, an individual should not pursue happiness? But basically, it is kind of a double-edged idea. If you are pursuing happiness, you are going somewhere. But at the same time, if you are pursuing happiness, you might as well not be completely going, so to speak, in some direction that you really want to go into. Not because pursuing happiness is not the final objective, but at the same time, in the pursuit of happiness, you found things that give you that. And let's say like this, in a society in which you can find your place, the happiness itself happens when you find also your, so to speak, as I said before, your place and things that give you enough joy in a manner in which you also contribute to that society. Because as I was thinking before, unless you let me check. I think the correct word was forgo. Forgo, forgo. Let me check. Let me check. Let me check. Yeah, unless basically that, unless you forgo of your desire of being part of that, or not your desire, in a sense, well, yeah, desire and the responsibility of being part of that society. Unless you forgo that, you cannot completely say that because you're not giving something to the society, you're happy. In a sense, the individual who gives to the environment in which they live something back find themselves having an easier time, let's say like that. At the end of the day, even if it isn't you yourself who says that, because we are environmental animals, we could even say, you know what, if this particular other animal slash individual isn't giving anything back while also consuming the resources that we are creating, the time that we spend, the everything that we do for our own sake, and it is only consuming without, as I said before, giving anything back, you might as well find that in that same manner, it becomes important to be part of the society for the sake of, in a sense, also not only giving you yourself happiness, but giving happiness to others in the manner in which they also see that you exist. Because, let's say like this, if you are a hermit in a functioning society like the one we have right now, so to speak, we have cities, we have villages, we have even tinier, what is it, uh, places of living humans, but at the same time, even in those places, it is still rules that you yourself should work for the things that you get, no matter if it is, no matter the ideology, basically. In one way or another, you find an interest in working on the things that come to be uh, basically, yeah, what gives you life. And those who are not part of those societies also understood this and ended up living them, so to speak. Mm, Because the main example that I came to my mind is, in general, those who, for example, Mahabharata, basically, the Rajarishis who decided to not be part of a society completely left those societies because you cannot be part of something if you are not giving anything back, and you cannot be part of anywhere without expecting people also to have that same expectance of you giving back, so to speak. But in that same sense, mm, in this particular manner, it is kind of hard to answer this because it has too many sides. I mean, it does. In that particular moment when you not only realize your happiness is also dependent on others' happiness existing in this particular manner, as I said before, in one in which you accept that others also influence how much you can or cannot enjoy things. In that particular manner, you also see that it might as well be beneficial for you to try and work for the happiness of the whole group. And the only thing in this particular case I think I could add is the other side of the idea that we have been talking about here. Basically, when you also take into consideration that you might as well not even, let's say, be hateful and resentful on others, you also find that the whole society also starts to reciprocate what you're doing. Because at the end of the day, sometimes a lot of time, yeah, sometimes the most important aspect that rules societies is when one individual does something, the rest try to mirror that activity. Because if you have a feeling that what they are doing is beneficial for them, in the manner of trying to have an easier time, you yourself, you might not invent something completely different. You might as well only go for what they already created. And in this particular sense, when you see that somebody is having an easier time, not being so hateful, so full of resentment, so full of those things, and the problem is you really comprehend that idea, and you really have the possibility also of saying, you know what, this is something that I want to work with, and I want to not let it affect me to such a deep level, let's say. If you accept those parts, as, so to speak, something real, something that is completely true, if you accept all of that, you also accept on the other side that you as well might try to work on the difficulties that you find. And you might as well let go of those feelings in the individual level. And as I said before, when you show others that you have created this tool and it makes your life easier, and in response, when others mirror this same activity, it makes the whole society, so to speak, evolution even easier, on even more swift than what it is right now. In that same sense, basically, you also see that these kind of things might end up being beneficial not only to you but also for the whole group. And in this particular sense, it is, I think, important to create those tools to the degree to which even those who might come, yeah, in light, the next 10 generations, when you're literally impossibly alive, therefore you really need to have cemented those ideas. When that happens, if your ideas are capable of surviving that much long, they really show that they have, so to speak, the real capacity of helping anybody. If, when society changes, your tools end up being outdated, it means that what you did might as well have been only beneficial in that same particular time slot, or it might as well have been never completely beneficial. Sorry, Tom. I was rambling. Hello. Hello, Tom. Sorry. I haven't. I don't know how much I haven't already on, but I haven't gone. Hello, Tom. Sorry. Uh, oh, yeah. I mean, personally, I try to answer my own question. So, at the very least, I progress. So, I hope you enjoyed it. But well, what happened, Torkite? Did you have a question, or did you only want to say hello, Torkite, welcome? Um, but well, now that we take a break, let me also, just in case, drop this on the chat, because I said it on the tweet itself, but it might as well have a little bit more meaning than what I only said. I spent like an hour and a half on creating that shit, and it was horrible to make it. Let me here. Let me grab this here. Grab this. Mhm. You're a poisonous, no, my man. I think uh, purple means something like, what was it? Passion or something like that. I think, if I am not completely wrong. Um, so basically, that the same thing as to why they are hearts in the eyes. If you're not passionate and if you do not have a love for the things that you do, why are you doing them? That is the response I constantly give. That is why we have purple eyes and pink. Um, I was going to say the other one. Yeah, hentai. Completely hentai. Hmm, but well, also let me drop that. Now that we are here, the scale, amazing. Shilling, yeah. Numbers. uh, yeah. Also, welcome, Whiplash. There we have it. The schedule for this week. That, as I was saying before, it took me like an hour to create. It was incredibly boring to make it, and I mean, the most not completely harmful, but hard thing is to really put in a manner in which I think not only me, but from the other side, the viewer itself might as well enjoy what I am creating. In that manner, create something that is coherent enough so that not only I myself understand what I said, but also other people seems and might as well have a spark of interest in created on them. Basically that. So that we have it. And a schedule that has oh yeah, fuck it is I forgot to say it. It is on the EST. It is on EST. Uh, let me add that right now. Thank you for pointing that out. Uh, EST time zone. No, well, it isn't EST, right? It isn't anymore EST because I think now we have like 2 hours of difference with what is it? Eastern Standard Time. Let me check. Uh, EST. EST. What time is it on EST, my bro? Timeanddate.com. Uh, Time zone EST, Eastern Standard. Which time it is? Yeah, we have 2 hours of difference. Mountain time. It is then mountain. What an incredible name it is, mountain time. Mountain time. No, no, even less. Something that only has 1 hour of difference. Uh, EST plus one, let me say. It is easier that way, you know. Uh, well, it is. Is in reality, I don't really know. Anyways, I might as well like no real problem with that. What? You can't hear me? Okay. There was an ad or something. I don't know. As I said before, they read and what was it? I forgot already. Yeah, they read a BFE experience script, and the stream itself is complete on Copa channel. He didn't cut anything off. The whole BFE script reading is there, so you need to watch that. It was beautiful, you know. It happened that both Pizza and Arkia got very shy when they had to read that, but it was beautiful, you know. It was heart touching, as one would say. Mm, and basically that's what happened. Let me. It was. I think it was around here. Let me see. Yeah, around the 1 hour and 7 minutes mark, basically. Yeah. And I mean, it isn't the complete best. And as I said before, they ended up checking out like at the middle of it. They read like 2 minutes or three at the very best. And no, they ended up taking 2 or 3 minutes because both Arki and Pizza were like, "Mm, this was not an invitation to take on me. No, and then they were like that the whole time because they really got nervous. Because I think in a sense it felt like very, very out of nowhere for them. So I understand that at the same time being forced to do something kind of embarrassing. But I mean, I don't know. It isn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. Mm. But well, teaching, basically. But well, basically that. Now, if there is no questions, then let me go back to pondering about different ideas. I have a lot of things yet to analyze. So, do you have anything that we want to answer here? As always, literally no problem on paying attention to whatever else. It, it literally only comes down to this because nobody else asks anything. So this is so sad, you know. But then, okay, let me. I mean, I have been also thinking about the idea as to why would it be interesting for anybody to really work on. Oh, hello, hello, Nico, welcome. We were, as always, morning pondering. So, if you have a question, if you have anything at all to say, to ask, to that you wish to get answered, you might as well try your best, because we're literally doing that here. And basically that. Mm, this is morning stream, so morning equals quality stream, you know. What did But well, I mean, okay, let me engage on this particular idea. I mean, well, I have been thinking a little bit, and I have been analyzing that is, why would anybody try to, or well, kind of the opposite. Why would I decide as an individual to really intoxicate myself when I don't even have the necessity of doing that? Let me see. I guess it would be beneficial to do it more than anything else, because sometimes it is better to deal with the reality than to go over the things that end up being my responsibility to take care of. And if I create a sense on myself that I have no real necessity of working on those things, yeah, basically anything in general, because you cannot, or well, you can intoxicate yourself with alcohol and also other even heavier stuff, you know. Mm, so, in a sense, it is basically a lot of stuff that you can really, so to speak, mm, use to get very, very intoxicated, like pills and all of that. Also, I wanted to say, what the fuck is that? Smokestack. Mm, I mean, I guess it is very fine. Even more because smokestack seems to be very spicy. Therefore, spicy food makes you really have a great time digesting food, as we talked about before. Yes, it is a good breakfast, as long as you're willing to take it. I mean, and even more, if it is real lean. I, well, basically, that I don't think is good enough. Um, Once the streamer I know is just got back from asylum. He had meth addiction and self-harm. He's doing better now, though. I think, yeah. Um, basically, that it might be easier to intoxicate yourself than to spend time with reality. And even more, if I myself as an individual, I do not think I have the possibility of dealing with my problems, distracting myself from them is the best way to circumvent that new whole problem, that is to accept that you do not have the possibility of solving them. Well, I mean, on the other hand, if it is lean, real lean, then it isn't good. Or well, it is good as long as you enjoy that. But I wouldn't suggest really going out or doing anything when you take fucking lean, I mean, drugs are not cool kids, basically. Mm. No, it says energy, my brother. You are lying to me. I am fucking crazy. this is it says it there, dietary supplement. It only has the lean name on it because what is it? Clickbait or similar concept. Fuck you, Inco. But well, sorry. Going back to the idea itself. I think if you yourself really find it to be beautiful and really find a comfort in taking any kind of substance, you might as well. In a sense, it is almost the same event that happens when you sleep. You really feel the desire to be spending your time there rather than on anything else because even if you do not see it as a therapy completely, it ends up giving you more comfort than really facing your problems. Because, as I said before, if you also know you do not have the chance of taking up your problems, solving them, and accepting the ways in which you might as well try to work with them, you will never completely see the necessity to stop taking those things. And I mean, the other side of this is who would you even try to help somebody who is there? At the end of the day, I, it, it is always easy to say you need to create a sense in which people knows that they have the possibility of fixing their inner things. In one hand, on the other, even if it is true or not, you also need to show them that it is real. And I mean, mm, I don't really know. It is kind of hard to say it. What? I like escaping sometimes, but like for a week or two. But I escape with video games or reading. More healthy than drugs. Yeah, I mean, the problem is if you conceive the things that you're doing as something healthy, they won't be harmful to you. The most crucial part of this is not knowing or yeah, basically not knowing and not accepting that what you are doing is really harmful to you as an individual. Because on the metaphysical level, the thing that matters the most is how you interpret your own reality. And if you think that because you're taking a pill, you really are going to end up dead, let's say, that simple idea increases your chances of really ending up in a bad situation, let's say. Because the manner in which the brain interprets even more in the sense of placebo effect, nocebo effect, and all of that, the manner in which the brain accepts and interprets those realities is really more powerful than what the realities themselves end up being. And if you, as an individual, think that you're really doing something good for your health with drugs, it ends up semi becoming a reality. Let's say, for example, one of the most famous things to say, or not famous, most common things to say, is for those who smoke, it is better to smoke because it gives you a release of, so to speak, a pleasure that nothing else can really give you. And also because it gives you a certain kind of edge, even more if you are constantly smoking, so to speak, if you are a chain smoker. And if you have those two things, you negate, on the other hand, the possibility of really ending up sick. But and it is the problem, it is proven. I do not have it on hand, but you can search for it as always online. And if it isn't true what I said, you can prove me wrong, because it was proven that those who smoke, while also having the notion that it is can what is it carcinogenic and it is really helpful to your for your own health to do those kind of things, end up not only feeling worse when they are and finish their smoke, but also the whole reaction that the body has to the act of smoking itself ends up really also being harmful. Mm, it has those two sides, so to speak. You need, on one hand, to see things that you do as something good for you, and you need to not really bash yourself down by things that you're doing in a sense in which you think they are really going to kill you. Let's say. Semantics are important for you now or good for you over time is different. As you that is good now. Oh no, yeah. Obviously, I mean, even if that is true, you cannot reflect the reality that, let's say, numbers. If you smoke 2,000 cigarettes, you will probably, and statistically speaking, end up developing cancer. Yes, but at the same time, if the way in which you conceive the idea of smoking and the way in which you integrate that into your own reality, as I said before, if you think it will really be harmful to you and you still are doing it, the whole process ends up being accelerated in a manner in which you go down from 2000 to only 1000. And that is the weird thing, let's say, because you need to have those two things in, so to speak, in mind. It is kind of the same as with what is it? The capacity of your body of developing resistance with your own adaptability and internal resistance to drugs, basically. If you think that what you're doing in that same sense, uh, for example, in the term of pills, when you're taking pills, if you really think that you're going to end up really not having the possibility of taking anything more for an extended period of time, you will really feel like it is your own responsibility to take care of you. And in a sense, it also gives you a possibility of developing healthy habits because you also understand what it means to develop resistance, and you also understand what it means to start being dependent on those substances. But if you are not aware what it means and what it really represents in your whole body to be addicted to something, you might only take more and more and more because you are only going for the spike itself. And it is in those manners that I say it is important in the ways that you see and observe things. Because, let's say like this, it will be kind of the same thing that happens if you go, instead of playing one video game for 1 hour, if you play your favorite video game, let's say, for an extended period of time. The more you play, the more you will need to keep playing to feel the same satisfaction as you felt the first time your main goal was achieved. Let's say, for example, if you are what I think the Binding of Isaac is a good known game. I think because I want to go with that example. If you're playing something like the Binding of Isaac, a video game that is based on randomness, in which the most important part is your skill to end every single run. When you have that in hand, you notice that the first run you finish on your day will be more rewarding than the next one. And if you, in the same amount of time that you did one run, are able to complete two, you will end up feeling more, or at the very least equal amounts of satisfaction, because it is in that pursuit of satisfaction that you end up pushing yourself over and over and over. And it is in that same sense that you also find it to be true, so to speak, that the way in which you engage with the things that you like and you find a reward from is also affecting you. Kind of in the same sense, even reading and even comprehending your own reality feels. If you have very basic concepts but you develop your ideas, you find a little bit of entertainment on that. But if after time you have already developed such a complex map of understanding and such a complex view of the world that only you yourself could train it even deeper and deeper, the amount of time that you will need to find that you found responses to the things that you're asking yourself, and also, on the other hand, the time that you spend really searching for questions that are worthy enough of pondering ends up being increasingly higher and higher. Not because by themselves there are no questions that you really want to ask yourself, but in a sense, it ends up becoming a drag that you take. The interest of asking things, because kind of coveting more and more knowledge is always good on one hand, but very dangerous on the other. Nobody can really completely understand how much they are wishing for things unless they realize it themselves. And if nobody else is also giving you those tools to be aware about how much you're really letting your inner desires take control of your actions, you might never be completely free of those shackles, let's say. So basically that. I don't think it, I it isn't. I don't know if you were able to follow my point. It ended up being kind of scattered all around, So basically that trocate, yeah. But I mean, funny words, funny conjunction of words that end up making sentences that we end up digesting ourselves. But well, then moving on to the not moving on, continuing with the whole question itself. That was, why would I have an interest as an individual in taking drugs? I think that form of escapism, when I have no other tools, ends up being more gratifying than almost anything else I could experience in my life. At the end of the day, I think it also is, or well, I hope at the very least it is true, that the individual also finds an interest in those particular things, because nothing else has really been giving the individual itself the comfort and the places in which he can express those things that by taking substances he can suppress, let's say. So I guess in a sense it is that kind of therapy that really alleviates your problems. And well, I think it is kind of the same that what we talk with a friend in this case. When you take some very specific kind of drugs, you also notice that your problems do not really disappear, but even more, they become higher and higher, and they really start to haunt you in a sense. And the experiences themselves of drugs, when you take them from the, so to speak, mm, therapeutic experience, also give you a necessity to deal with those blockages that you find in your life. At the end of the day, nobody could really say, I am happy with the things that are happening in my own life if they do not understand them. Nobody could really feel themselves happy in places where they do not find, so to speak, comfort. And comfort lies more than anything else, I think, on the idea of being in a place or mm, anything, comprehending what happens and why is it that you have at the very least satisfaction from that. Because let's say like this, if you are not pursuing anything, you will not find satisfaction in anything that happens to you at the end of the day. If anything is an interest to you, at the same time nothing can really satisfy you. So in that same manner, if you are really aware about what you want and you are really aware about what your desires represent inside more than anything else, on inside of yourself, you really are capable in that same manner to achieve basically that satisfaction. And in that same manner, basically taking it back to what I was saying before, when you see and when you have in mind that taking drugs might as well give you a, a reality in which you are happier because you took them and because you are dealing with your problems in a manner in which even sometimes people keeps telling you this is only harmful to you, and you yourself realize, or at the very least, live in the falsehood of I am dealing with my problems in a way in which nobody else really believed what's possible. When you believe in those things, and when you are, so to speak, sure that it is working, you end up really going even more hard, so to speak, on those things. But I mean, the whole question tries to be how to give tools to those people. And the problem is, can you really show to somebody who negates everything a reality at the end of the day? Who, I mean, personally, I think the best way to try and show anything to anybody is you accept that what you're going to tell them is going to be negated. Therefore, you should try to engage in a conversation with individuals in which you try to show them that they can not only, but they should try to prove you wrong. Because it is in that funny, so to speak, event and in that funny occurrence that they could find more answers than what they could get. But at the same time, it, it loops back to what I said before. If the individual itself finds no desire in developing anything and in any particular manner, but only feels like being so to speak, liberated from the pain that they have in their life, sorry, you really do not have the complete chance of solving anything. Because even if you engage in a kind of playful manner of, you know what, you have always the possibility of proving me wrong. Therefore, you should try to do it. Even if you engage in something like that, the individual itself, in a sense, is kind of depressed. Because no rational animal in the complete existence of the animal kingdom, not only human, no rational animal ends up taking, so to speak, um, something that negates their reality. It is common, I guess, for animals to drag themselves out to have a even more joyous time, and even more it happens with those who are, so to speak, higher in the food chain, because you have the possibility so much of being in a joyous state that you can let go of your own defenses, and you can even ignore your own survival for a second of pleasure, because you kind of feel like you are in that possibility. But in the case of the human, it happens that because you think your existence is pain, and sometimes you need to satiate, or at the very least, to make that pain shut up, basically, you feel like it is a very existing thing for you to avoid those things by taking, as I said before, substances, whatever it is, and ending up not paying attention to what is happening in the background for the sake of having an easier time going into whatever else is already an occurrence in your life, I guess. Mm, but yeah, I think that is kind of a way to say it. I think we could attack that idea right now, but at the same time, we might as well have already spent like 10 minutes speaking about this. How much? Let me see. 20 minutes. So, yeah, might as well move on to something different for the sake of not burdening the brain so much with one single concept being overdeveloped. So, well, yeah, I mean, one of the few things that I really want to think about and that I want to convince myself is worth enough is doing physical exercise, because it is true that having a healthy body cultivates a healthy mind more than anything else. Because, as I talked before, when your body is healthy, your whole brain functions even better than what it already did. So, by creating a healthy body, you create a healthy brain, which ends up making a healthy mind as long as you are aware of those things. More than anything else, in that same manner, it is important for the individual to know also that the responsibility, or the major responsibility, lies on the hands of the individual itself to know that the things that you are going to do for your own brain are the most important ones, let's say. But at the same time, when you already have these concepts, and when you already are trying to go for that, finding a real desire to keep going is a hard thing, because the process ends up being painful, tiring, and, so to speak, mm, to okay, at a water drop pace, and it really feels like it might as well not be worth enough for doing that the whole time. Um, yeah, I guess if you never really have the confidence and the patience created enough in yourself for learning that things take time, you might as well never engage in that. And in that same manner, I would guess, if you in your whole life never have the possibility of creating that whole patience side of reality, it might as well mean that your whole reality itself has never given you the possibility, or at the very least, your whole life has never required you to be patient. Think that, yeah, okay, okay. I think it isn't completely true. I think it is rather true that the individual itself thinks that they never require patience, but in reality, almost uh, it isn't almost every single thing requires time, and the manner in which you are aware that it happens or not is a thing by in and of itself, let's say. Because if you're not in this same manner, if you're not really sure that what you are doing really takes time and really will take you a lot of effort to get anywhere, you might as well not have the possibility of comprehending and also grasping that you already have a base to develop even further your own patience towards any kind of goal. And in that same manner, I will getting the possibility of no, somebody trying to show you that you already have some places where you already are very patient might as well be a good way to, as an individual, find you yourself that it is true that you already have a base for it. But I guess, in a sense, I, it is kind of an excuse. But if you, as the individual, negate others the possibility of showing you anything in that manner, because you already incarcerated yourself in the shackles of I am never somebody who has patience and I am never somebody who waits for anything to happen in their life. If you have those things going on, you might as well also find it true, let's say, that you yourself cannot really let others approach you. But at the end of the day, this is particularly not important, but rather interesting enough to the degree in which you also notice that not you, the individual, but rather those who are outside, you notice that the individual is trying its hardest to not accept that already exists in reality. Because, in a sense, the real show that somebody is impatient is the non-existent itself. Non-existence, sorry. Because that is literally the best way to end everything. Because at the end of the day, those who really are overwhelmed by reality and by the passage of slow time, basically, end up taking the more drastic route, that is to literally end themselves. And those who really do not have the hello, Masuro, we are with a very beautiful topic right now. I mean, what a funny thing it was probably to hear somebody who is ending themselves, the first thing that you that you hear when you enter here. But welcome. We we are right now pondering on the possibility of how to I don't know. I think I ended up going for the idea of how to help somebody who does not want to be helped in the aspect of finding patience for life, let's say. Basically, that not on the whole being helpful to others, but rather on the particular aspect of showing others that they might as well be more patient than what they think. And what I was saying is, I think the best show that somebody is really patient is that they didn't end themselves. At the end of the day, the best way to accelerate every single event on life is to end it. Let's say like that. Not because it is something good, but rather because you yourself might as well be completely burdened by the passage of time and the whole reality that is everything will require patience from you. So those who really are not patient are not patient enough to the degree that they can really get anything out of things that require it exist, rather the opposite, do not exist already. Everyone else might as well be negating from themselves the reality that is they are patient and they have at the very least some degrees of patience, not for every single event in life, but at the very least, they already have a base, and at the very least, you have always the possibility of showing anybody that they have that basic root and that basic initial seed, let's say. Um, okay, what? Ah, okay, yeah, don't worry. It only happened, Masbro. And it was literally a burning hole. Fuck, I forgot to create the next one. This is amazing. Give me a second. Thank you for pointing that out. I forgot to create the next one. Give me a second. Viewer rewards. What is it? Channel points. Yeah, channel points. Okay, let me manage rewards and challenges. Yeah. Mark as complete. It is already complete, bro. What? What do you mean mark as complete? It is already complete. What the fuck? Anyways, bottom hole. And it's bottom. Points. I wrote points.
Mr. Worldwide, Mr. 305, darling. Today I just want to tell you.
What?
Que a mí me gusta la Pepsi.
What? Somebody read. No. No. Who was it? Thank you. But give me a second. Who was it? I am creating a challenge. Give me a second. Here, I think here, stream manager. Who was it? Thank you. Whoever it was. Give me a second. I was on another Windows. I wasn't paying attention. I knew it. It was the sound of the raid. I knew it. Neuron activation. Give me a second. Who was it? Thank you a lot for your raid. Give me a second so that I can name you properly, because I was not paying attention. Sorry, I was doing something else. Sorry, I failed on my one only task. That was yeah. Thank you, Kenny. What, Kenny? What? You were streaming so early? Thank you, Kenny. I didn't expect you to be streaming so early. I was completely not even aware that you were streaming. Well, thank you. I hope you had a great stream. We have been pondering, but right now I was creating a new challenge because I forgot to do that earlier. So, well, before anything else, let me have the habit of shout out Kenny, who was probably playing something, as always. I don't know. If Kenny's here, he might as well tell us he was doing. We might as well go give him a beautiful follow, because he's a beautiful individual who does beautiful things. And yes, basically that. As I said before, thank you, Kenny. Okay, let me keep making the challenge. From the points, 40,000 days. 30 days, yeah. Create. Number of days. Didn't you say 30, my bro? 30 days. 30 days. Create. There we have it. The next challenge. Start. Start challenge, yeah. Shut up. There it is. Let me archive this one. There it is. We have the new second challenge. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Kenny. We were pondering so far. I got, before getting sidetracked, so to speak, into going to to create a new challenge, because I forgot to do that earlier. I was thinking about the possibility of showing somebody that they might as well be patient, or that they might as well have more patience than what they think. That was the actual idea that we were pondering so far. And I think it makes no sense, I think, to say, yeah, I prefer to move to the thing that has been bothering me the most. Why would you give the individual so much responsibility, in the sense of it is only you who can show yourself that you can do things? In reality, I am pretty sure if you, as the subject who is trying to affect the individual, if you really tried hard enough, you might as well succeed. You only need to be convinced that what you are doing is powerful and moving enough in the way that you can influence the individual. Nobody can really, in any sense, change others to the degree that they do not put enough effort But if you really are willing to put the effort, you might as well do those changes. I mean, at the same time, if it were completely true that it is impossible for some, not somebody, anybody else aside from the individual itself to go through experiences and to have, so to speak, new ideas and new comprehensions and new anything at all, if it were to be true, we will not have an education system based on you, even if you do not want, you have to go and you have to spend your time and you have to spend um, hours of your day, days of your weeks, weeks of your months, months of your years, basically researching, analyzing, and comprehending topics that you might as well sometimes not even use on anything else aside those particular things. But if at the same time you also accept the reality that is you, when you create a desire strong enough on anybody to work on their whatever it is, problems, interest, whatever it is, work on the things that they have, so to speak, pending when you create it to the degree in which they start to have that real, as I said before, passion or at the least spark of interest, you are the one who really influences others. It isn't that you can completely negate the reality of, yeah, the individual sometimes need to be willing, but the will itself will not come out of nowhere, and you can't expect the individual to always have interest on every single topic that is an existent thing on life. Because at the end of the day, for example, one of the major things I would say is, well, you need to try to save those who are depressed. And one of the major things is to know that whoever is depressed does not will to sometimes to get out of it, even if they themselves don't completely comprehend that idea and would even go against what you are saying in the sense of how can you tell me that I am not feeling it on myself, the desire to work on my problems. It literally makes no sense on one side, while on the other, if you accept that you need to show others and you need to give hope to others to do the things that they want or that you at the very least have an interest for them to start working on. If you do those things and if you put your time, so to speak, to the degree enough to which they really start working on their actual problems and they really start progressing, you started that passion and you started that, not in the sense of, so to speak, baiting on the satisfaction of being you who influenced others, but rather comprehending that not every individual will really have an interest on every single thing that happens. It also needs to be pushed from somewhere else. You cannot expect anybody to out of nowhere have a complete interest on their lives. Kind of the opposite, I would say. If you were to show an individual that their whole life could be changed only by themselves, you will only give them the biggest burden that is literally nobody else except you can save you. And it makes no sense to give that much pressure to anybody and expect them to not break. It is more common. Okay, I think it comes from the side of it is more logical to say and to give company to those who are trying to go for those events in particular. You know what? They will be painful experiences and they might as well not be something that you really feel like going for. But as long as you're willing, there will be other people who is also going to be an encompassing and completely important part of that whole process. And as long as you also feel an interest and you find a real sense of attachment towards your goal, you might as well succeed. But the only one who can achieve things for yourself is you, in that sense. It isn't that nobody else can show you other ways in which you can achieve anything. Rather, it only lies on the realization, let's say, of you yourself being the one who can achieve the most out of whatever tool is given to you. The tools themselves might as well be presented in the swiftest way possible. And even if sometimes you do not see a news on them on the actual present moment, because you know that they exist in the future, as long as you're able to remember them, you might as well find a news for them, let's say. I think. Mm, basically that. Basically, if I am not so well, mm, but well, it also took me like I don't know another 20 minutes or so to finish that idea. So we might as well move on to something else so far. At the very least, it was satisfactory to find a conclusion that was fulfilling enough because, in a sense, as I started with, it feels wrong to say nobody but the individual can save themselves. It makes no sense in one hand because if it were to be completely true, the individual is the only one who can take any kind of action, and you cannot give the individual, in some cases, so much power. From the psychological point of view, not from the political or anything like that, from the psychological point of view. If you give somebody too much power, they might as well drown. In that sense, as I said before, it isn't power, it ends up becoming a burden. So, yes, I guess basically that. Ways and ideas need to be analyzed constantly, basically. That is the most actual thing that I can say. Ways, ideas, and concepts needs to be analyzed and comprehended from other perspectives because it is not completely true everything that happens in the mind of anybody. Rather, I, I do not think every single idea that anybody has might as well be a lie. But wait, ads starting soon. Ads starting soon. Beware. Lower your headphones because the ads are starting soon. There it is. Now, continue. What I was saying is, I think, yeah, what is the most important thing is you need to find ways to be helpful to others and not to simply incarcerate people behind the tags of, you know what, you are the only one who has the capacity of doing that. In a sense, it feels kind of, when you say that, I think, okay, when you say that the individual is the only one who is capable of saving themselves, you're kind of taking a nihilistic approach because you are negating your own responsibility of trying to save others, even when they themselves do not even feel like doing that. Well, yeah, but you're the only one who has a subscription, I think, watching right now, Inco. Nobody else really has a subscription, I think. I mean, it isn't the right time to say it, but after the whole ad ends, I will say the funny chilling thing. So continuing with what I was going for, I think it is kind of nihilistic because if you say, you know what, nobody else but you can save yourself, you're kind of negating the possibility of being helpful to others. What the fuck? I don't know. I kind of comprehend it. You know, there is no real need to do it, and even more because in a sense you can't even gain nothing in particular from here. It isn't like we have an only subscribers or anything that is really particular for subscribers. It literally is only money support to the potato, and as I said before, it isn't even sometimes needed. I I live very scarcely with what I already have, so giving me more will not probably increase the quality of the streams so far. I mean, we could try to take that approach, but we need a lot more than one subscription. And not that every subscription is not important, rather, every subscription is important to the degree in which a collection of them ends up being so important that at finish, you know what I wanted to say? You probably have this beautiful thing that is called Amazon Prime, and it also gives you a free subscription. So if you have never used that, you might as well use it here, you know? Thank you. Now, continuing with what I was saying, it was a long detour from the ideas. So, um, wait, wait, how much I haven't streamed already? Because I'm already angry. That is the main thing that I can say. Only an hour. I have been here only for an hour. What? An hour and 10 minutes. Holy fuck. Well, we will be at the very least for 10 more minutes so that we can. Okay. We'll go for the hour and a half, and after that, I will end stream. Basically, that is the approach that we are going to take. That is the truth of today. An hour and a half is how much we're going to go for. No more, no less. Sorry. Going back to the ideas, I am brain scattered. Sorry. Um, where was I? I think. Oh yeah. I didn't. I didn't finish the sentence in this whole time. Amazing. I think when you negate that you have always the possibility of helping others, even if they themselves are not willing to do that, you kind of take out of view power. Because at the end of the day, the one who can really change not only their own reality, but the realities of their surroundings is, so to speak, the individual itself in that sense. I mean, okay, as long as you're willing, you can change almost anything, I would say. And as long as you're willing to spend enough time, you could even try to change things that are kind of inherently important to nature itself, I will even add. But when you don't see it as a possibility, and when you do not even have it in your mind that it might as well be beneficial for you to do that, and that it might as well be interesting for you to do that, you might as well never have it existing in yourself, so to speak. And even less, you will not even have it being something that gives you encouragement to help others. Because if you think that only the individual, okay, if you only think that the individual itself is the one who is capable of saving themselves, you also negate, as I said before, the possibility of being helpful to anybody else. And in that sense, I would even say it is kind of a depressing standpoint that you are taking, if you think that is true. It, it might as well be true. You can even take it from the approach that we talked before. It might as well be possibly true. But the only way to know if it is completely true or not is not only trying, but trying with as many people as you can. Because even more with people, with humans, with others' lives, every single person takes a different approach on things. Even if the approaches themselves seem completely similar, the ways to which they ending up finding those approaches are unique to the individual. And when you negate the idea of, you know what, you might as well try to help others, even if you do not know if it is going to be helpful. When you negate that, you are kind of being, I wouldn't say selfish, but you're being tied down by your own depression in that sense, I would say. Because at the end of the day, even if sometimes from an outsider perspective, it might seem like the burdens that others try to carry is too much. If it were true that it is too much, let's say like this, they would have already ended their whole burden, as I kind of said before, because a burden that is really heavy will crush you down. It isn't something that you can keep carrying and struggling in life with. If something is really hard for anybody, they take the easiest route out of it. Nobody is really willing to go through pain, through bad experiences, and through bad anything at all if they are not willing to take the risk. So those who are struggling might as well be not wanting others to help them, because in this case I will say you, from that internal perspective, you think that when others try to help you, they are only losing their time because they might as well not comprehend what you're going through. And even if it isn't that selfish standpoint, it is the standpoint of they might as well use their time more wisely on other things that are more important than you as an individual. But going back to the other perspective, if you notice that those people are even thinking like that, by simply showing them in those cases that some simply, some incredibly simple actions end up being helpful, in those manners you also give them even more hope that what anybody could really expect to. Then, out of such a simple act that is, in this case, let's say to engage in an act of speaking with others, basically. So yeah, a lot of craziness and ideas that flow in the mind. Mm, but well, I don't know what else to add to that. I think that was a good progress on that regard. So basically, that I don't really know. I ended up kind of dry after so much um, thinking. At the very least, I hope it. In my case, it served obviously a purpose. I hope for anybody else it did anything. I no yeah I kind of lied. I I lied. I can't go any longer. I am already tired. Well, I love I love that I cannot completely commit. So well, I might as well leave unless somebody has a question. If somebody has a question, I might as well spend some time more here. But if not, I will take my leave already because brainy brainy squeezes out of energy. So yeah. Um, Also, thank you for burning your points, Whiplash. Thank you. It was a beautiful day. It was, as always, progress that we achieved here, and we shall keep on this. But in the next occasion, right now, I am exhausted. I didn't thought I was going to be so exhausted after only 1 hour today. But I guess when you really have questions that you want to answer, you go hard on them, as, as I did here. And it was not at the very least, kind of the opposite. It was even more beautiful to see that, as always, the possibility itself being open of others giving their viewpoints ends up being more helpful than being by myself, spending my only my time thinking. So yes, as always, thanks for being here. Thanks for your appreciation, for your time, lurking, watching, rewatching the world, whatever it was that you did. Thank you. Now we shall take a depart and let me find somebody to write because as I said before, it was already too much. So I also need to eat and all of that. I am going to take my beautiful depart and enjoy my time being very scattered on some bit before we come back to this. Who is still? Daya is okay. We're going to write Daya, who is on a special events category celebrating 500 followers. Uh, Oyster and Spider Monkey, what the fuck? What? Anyways, basically that. We're going to go there. Spider Monkey, yeah. Let me see. It was as always beautiful, but it needs to end because personally I am tired and because it also is good to enjoy. Ah no, it wasn't a spider monkey. I am completely blind. It is a crab simply. One of those that gets into shells. I am blind. Sorry, I lied. There is no spider monkey. Uh, Wait, you know what? We might as well do this. Let me see. There it is. There is no spider monkey. We create a spider monkey. Please. No, thank you for being here. But unless, unless no, sorry, until time gets us together once again, we shall depart because it was enough for today. So yes, as always, thanks for your time, thanks for your appreciation, thanks for everything. It is always a pleasure. Now, Raider, Raider.